Welcome, fellow book enthusiasts, to the AGR Book Club podcast, where the world of literature, sips, and taste intertwine. I'm your host, Dr. Felicia J. Lindsay. I am thrilled to embark on this literary journey with you. If you're passionate about books, food, and drinks like I am, then you're in the right place. So whether you're here to discover a new read, tantalize your taste buds, or simply unwind with a good book and a cup of coffee, I encourage you to share your thoughts, like our content, leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's build a community where our love for literature, cuisine, and conversation collide. Subscribe now and let's embark on this journey together. Hello, Mr. Thompson. I can't believe I'm finally on with you. Author, author coach, you do business planning. You have so many facets and you do them well. I want you to first tell everybody about your book, tell them about your journal, tell them about the workbook and vision journal. Now, how did you come up with the name Pine Cones and Spaceships? How did you come up with this?
Well, first you have to understand where I'm coming from, right? And
Mhm.
representing the beautiful South Florida, Pompano Beach 954, stand up. We have the best of both worlds, right? We have the wonderful Caribbean Ocean, you have the Gulf of Mexico, you have the people from all across the planet. You have the Haitians, you have the Dominican Republic, you have the Europeans, you have the Italians. Everyone is there. And what this creates is this beautiful melting pot of commonality. Because although we are different, we are also similar. Our
Mhm.
children love to play together, right? We all love to
Right.
play dominoes together.
That's right.
So all these things interwoven into who I am as an author and as a writer. So pine is a combination of different seeds that if you take one peg out and plant it, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a tree. And that's the possibility that we have within us to become bigger than this small item. And then, of course, spaceships. Being in Florida, we have Cape Canaveral. And
Mm.
when we look to the stars and we look to the sun, we think of this outward journey to become a wonderful, better society. But at the same time, all the ingenuity that gets us out there starts in here.
Mhm. That's
The
true. That's true.
mathematical formulas, the desire, the interest, the ability to plan for the future, the sustainability comes from here and here. So when I wrote the series, and it's a family project, right? My wife is my editor, my daughter is my graphic designer, marketing,
Mm-hmm.
so we have that business happening. And I want it to be something that's wholesome, that's socially delicate. We talk about illness,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about homelessness, we talk about the family structure, we talk about the fact that sometimes in families, you have to cut some people off in order to be a better version of yourself. We talk about how in your 9 to 5, you might not find the acceptance, the validation you want in your 9 to 5.
That's true.
You might have to find that in your own entrepreneurship or in your hobby, And of course, retirement is something that retirement, when it does happen, you want to retire when you're young, when you have the
Yes.
physical ability to travel, not when you are old and you need a bedpan to survive the night.
That's
So
true.
this book series for us represents the best of humanity and how we can connect with each other, be kinder to each other, and even through all the toils and the trauma happens, we can be better and more positive
Now, I like how you incorporated faith and mental health together in the book, and how you are looking at it as daily affirmations that people can work through their problems and be able to express themselves and come to some peace. I like that. How did you come up with that idea?
Well, I realized that everyone is trying to find some sense of peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this world is chaotic in terms of, especially in Miami, for example, a big major city. It's always the hustle and bustle, and you're catching taxis, and you're walking, and you're running, and you are meeting with people from sun up to sundown.
Mm-hmm.
You never actually take time for yourself, and I had the opportunity. I spent some time at Fort Lauderdale International Airport, and
Mm-hmm.
we went up to the air traffic control tower, with all the big screens, and they're monitoring the traffic and the planes landing and taking off, And one of the guys said something important to me. He said, that one of the highest rates of suicide and drug use is within the city because it's such a high pressure, high demanding task, and we work these long hours. And it's hard for us
Mm-hmm.
to find. A lot of us, when we interact with other people, we take in a lot of energy without the ability to process it or do something with it. And from there, after praying and reading my Bible some more and meditation, I realized
Mm-hmm.
what we want is peace. And in my faith, in our faith, Jesus Christ represents that peace. Not everyone
Mm-hmm.
believes in Christianity or believe in faith or have that in their personal doctrines. However, we all want peace.
That's true.
And so for me, poetry represents that. So when I wrote the book, Inner Sanctum, Protecting My Peace Through Poetry, what I
Mm-hmm.
did was show that for me, poetry is that path. Writing should be the path for everyone because writing is the connection between our brain and our physical world. In the Bible, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And the power of the Word and of writing is a part of the universe, is a part of our divine being, is a part of our existence. So we have to embrace it. The words you speak to yourself, the words you
That's
speak
true.
to others,
Mm-hmm.
and how you portray your ideas on paper, how you represent yourself on paper, it matters. It is super important. And that is why when I wrote this poetry book, and this is my third dedicated poetry book, I wanted to be able to showcase through my vulnerability how you could be strong within who you are, who you were, and who you will be. And the first act is about the individual, about the community. And then the
Mm-hmm.
third act is about fate and the future. And in those messages, so there's about 8 to 9 poems per chapter, per act, using my words and my originality, I showcase my journey. And hopefully it resonates with other readers, with other poets, so they find that
Mm-hmm.
within themselves also. And I challenge anyone who thinks they can't write a poem, pick this book up, right? You can trust me. Everyone can write poetry. It doesn't have to rhyme. It could be free verse. It could be short.
Now, where can somebody go to hear some of your poetry?
Oh, definitely. So I have a series on YouTube where I have the visualization of the lyrics in my
Mm-hmm.
poems as 3 minute, 4 minute long videos, not music videos, but as audio lyrical videos. And you could listen to the poem and read the words at the same time. And still in progress because I have over 100 poems. About 50 of them are published already. So I'm just building that database up. You can
Mm-hmm.
find me on any platform, Clubhouse, Fanbase, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, and we do live virtual poetry readings. Wait, wait for the lag to catch up. There we go. So there are tons of virtual coffee houses everywhere where you can tap in. And of course, feel free to invite me. If I know about it, I'll share the flyer. And we try to just share poetry wherever we go. I'm working on my first one-man show. It's going to be a virtual poetry event. It's going to be an hour long, just myself, stage, uh, wide stream. So you'll be available through Google Meet and Eventbrite and so forth. And just me talking and saying poetry. I'm a performance poet. So it's a whole
Mhm.
production that goes into expressing and sharing and making that connection with the audience. So I'm prepared for that one man show coming up. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be titled based off the book Inner Sanctum. Not out as yet, but once it is, it'll be there, and I'll be advertising on all my platforms.
Okay. Now, tell everybody a little bit more about the workbook because they can also purchase it on Amazon and they can work along with it. But you also have lots of helpful information.
So one of our biggest projects was my daughter told me, she said, I don't want a regular journal. If I wanted a journal, I would have gone to Walmart or Target and purchased one there. I
Yes.
want a book that I can work in, and if I want to draw, I can draw. So what we did is we put together a 250-page workbook and vision journal, anything for 6 months. So within the 250 pages, there are 200 daily affirmations and writing prompts. So these are meant to engage your mind into what can I write about creatively today? And there's also segments that talks about how to write an essay, how to build a perfect resume, or how to
Mhm.
conduct yourself during an interview. How to publish a book. What are the steps that you need in terms of writing, editing, publishing, and distribution you should put together? And there's a lot of aspects to it, for them or by themselves, just to see based on where you are in your life currently, based on
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
career development, how many skills have you taken in and are now part of your daily makeup without you actually knowing that you are this skillful? And then from there, what would your weaknesses be on your job, in your entrepreneurship, and even in your relationships?
Now that's good. I love that whole body concept because basically you're working with the person, you're working with them in the journal, but you are helping them in every facet of their life. Now, that kind of centers around you being a developmental editor. How can people get in contact with you if they do want you to help them with their book? And what do you offer when you help them with their book?
So there's a couple different parts that are involved, right? And I think the most
Hmm.
important part is information. I always tell folks before you work with me or work with anyone, do your research. Find out what are you trying to accomplish and what you can do with the industry. What tools are available to you. One
Hmm.
of my clients, he's looking at being picked up by a traditional publishing house.
Yes.
So, as I mentioned to him before, you have a waiting process, you have a rejection process, you have to be available emotionally for those letters to
Hmm.
come in and saying basically your manuscript is not good enough or it's not what we want. So we provide that emotional support. I am a firm believer in independent
Hmm.
publishing. I am a firm believer in independent publishing. I want to keep my rights, I want to keep my royalties, and the distribution network is open to everyone. At this point, once you purchase your ISBNs, you can take the time and distribute books to your local library, your local
Hmm.
bookstores, your local schools. There's no reason why you can't do so on your own now. So we provide that guidance and that information and research. Now, when it comes to hard skills, if you want a beautiful book cover, we do that. If you need to have the formatting done, we do that also. And if you want to develop the concept and the strategy, My role as a developmental editor is to see the big picture and bring it
Mhm.
all together. Maybe you don't have what you need at this moment to start your book project because it takes commitment. And so those are the aspects that we provide as an independent publishing house. And right now we have a 4-for-1 package, which basically the entire concept for you. The book comes in and give you a listed ISBN where you keep all your rights and royalties. You set up your own
Mhm.
author accounts, all your access points you control, and we distribute, sell to your friends, whatever you want to do on your own. So I realize a lot of folks want to have a DIY project, because independent publishing is something you can do on your own. And sometimes, especially the companies and
Mhm.
the professional who has a full-time day job, that everyone stays
Mhm.
on task and follows the timetable.
Okay. Now, do you have a website or an email where people can get in contact with you if they would love to be a part of the services?
Find me on Beacons or Linktree, the Right Warrior on both platforms. Via Calendly, we do a 15-minute session where we just break down exactly what the nature of the relationship would look like. That's
Mm.
important. The alignment of the interest and purpose. Go back to the first step, the research. We might not be the best fit for you. You might not be the best fit for us. However, that
Mm.
15 minutes allows me to determine if we can work, and if so, what the nature of the relationship would be. So Beacons, Linktree, The Right Warrior on all platforms. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and just tap in with what you need. And if you think you can follow our guidelines and criteria, then you can do so.
Now, you also work with business professionals to get business plans or to help them with their business plans?
Correct, correct. So the business plan, which is so amazing, we have it everywhere, right? There are tons of templates. We have AI now
Yes.
that can assist in structuring the business plan. The only thing we are missing is the organic touch, the organic research, the understanding of the connection between what you have as the proprietor or as the hobbyist transitioning to, I want to make 5K a month, or I am making 5K a month. I need to lock in my taxes, lock in my target audience, get more funding. So that is where we come into place. So we do organic individual business plans. We put time into it. We talk to the client. We find out who's your target audience, where's your local market, five. And we focus on the 5 year business plan, because the first year is basically you setting up your systems, right? And
That's
seeing what works in terms of a business model. The
mm-hmm.
second year tends to be more about, okay, let's lock in the CRMs. Let's find the high value clients, the ideal clients, and let's make sure we have a system in place to intake them, keep them, do our regular touch points, follow up, build a team and expand so that in year 3, 4, and 5, we can scale accordingly. Nothing is perfect. However,
That's true.
having a plan helps you execute and survive when things go wrong. That's one of the values we offer. And that came because, as a publishing house, your book is not just a book.
Sure.
No one just takes a book and tosses out the book. Your book has to be part of your infrastructure, part of your plan. The only exception is the family memoir book project. And that's something that we do as our community give back, where if you are a grandma or a father, you have a family and you want to capture the stories of your elders and just produce a book, and you just want to
Mm-hmm.
have like maybe 30, 100 copies for the next family reunion, then we'll
Mm-hmm.
work with you on that project. There's a small budget for that. You do most of the work. We just provide the industry skill and knowledge. So you can take your time, capture all the videos that you want to, all the audio recordings, do the transcription, put together the piece, manuscript, full family picture as the the editing and so forth, upload to Amazon, and then you can order your own copies for like $4 to $5 per copy as the author. So that's a self-contained project where we apply our industry knowledge to folks, right? If you're the owner of a business and you're trying to get more clientele, if you want to have a product or book that serves as an introduction to what your business is about, then we have that where we say, okay, let's work together, figure out the best strategy. What's your budget? Here's the services. Do you have a team that can cover XYZ? And if not, here's how we fit in. And I would like to say we cover nearly everything. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
we don't cover fully is the marketing aspect. And I always tell everyone the marketing of a book, of course, depending on your needs, is the hardest part of the book. Writing is
Mm-hmm.
fundamentally straightforward. The editing and formatting takes time. And the publication of the book, we use technology for that. We have distribution channels, we have retailers like Amazon and Barnes Nobles that can help
Mm-hmm.
with that. You can even upload to the iStore or to Apple Books and Google Store. So
The marketing is where the business
marketing
plan
takes some
comes in.
effort and energy because exactly. Another business plan will demonstrate how everything ties in together. So
Mm-hmm.
between the book, between the brand and the business plan, and of course, if you just want a business plan, that's doable also. That's even easier because now, so we recently did a project. It was for a fire extinguisher company.
Mm-hmm.
And they produce fire extinguishers as a retailer, and they were expanding to not only just give the hardware, but also provide training for the staff
Oh.
at different companies who have a fire extinguisher in their building. So with that
Mm-hmm.
expansion, now we said, okay, this is perfect. So now you have a viable product that is necessary and explainable and on. So now you have a component where you want to have your engineers and installers also be the ones to show up for inspections plus training sessions. So we incorporated
Mm-hmm.
all that into the 5-year business plan, which includes contracts from the local government, being able to have other business owners in their respective fields. And it was mainly the hospitality field, because one hotel, for example, can have up to 100 fire extinguishers. Depends on the layout and the size.
Okay, you say that's how the business plan come into place because basically you're having a steady resource of income coming in, and you've planned it to where you have your big purchases, but you also have added in this monetary training where it's going yearly, and you're basically getting paid for that. I love that. Now, what else do you have coming up? Is there anything else that you're working on?
Every Friday, we do a author's showcase where we highlight an author. We talk
Mm-hmm.
about the writing journey. So that's one aspect. We also host Saturday writing sprints. So if you are looking to write in a community, right? We're not sharing our works, we're not writing together. We're sharing a space where it's conducive to writing. It's quiet. We might ask a couple of questions. I'm the haiku king. I'm a very much a fan of haikus. And we just days and we will be expanding to Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you want to do a personal development program, it's every month. So the next cohort starts on June 4th or 5th, I believe. And basically what it entails is it involves structured journaling on a daily basis, uh,
Mm-hmm.
check in via text messages, and 2 sessions every week, one on Saturday and one during the weekday, your choice in the evening, where we just go over, okay, what have you accomplished? What are your goals that you're meeting? We have a habit that's planned out. So every week you have accomplished another set of behaviors that you're hoping to lock in, get you to a place where you're comfortable expressing yourself and your career, right? So you feel more empowered, and of course, knowing who you are, so that way, when you show up in the boardroom, when you show up in your PTA meeting, you have this now strength and this writing about your hopes and your dreams and your weaknesses and your faults. Always open to new writers and new authors. So if you want to sign up and be part of the June program for the authorship, which is separate from journaling, just tap in with me. We do an intake and an onboarding process to see exactly where you are, if we are best fit to work together. But if you want to publish a book and you need an independent publishing assistance, then we are the ones for that. And it could be a small book, a children's book, or it can be a big 100,000 page novel.
Now,
attention authors. Are you struggling to market your books while juggling social media, content calendars, and endless promotion? Introducing AGR Book Club Authors Community, your ultimate solution to book marketing woes. With our Authors Marketing Kit, the Authors Spotlight Package, and Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Platinum promotional packages, we've got everything you need to shine in the literary world. But that's not all. Join Author Connect, your monthly literary haven, where you can network with fellow authors and access exclusive resources to boost your career. Upgrade to Author Spotlight Plus, your all-inclusive author feature package, and watch your book soar to new heights. And guess what? We've got your Spotify advertisement and book trailer videos covered too. Say goodbye to social media stress and hello to success with AGR Book Club Authors Community. Contact us today and let's take your book to the top where authors thrive.
you know this book club, we love to pair a book with a drink and a dish. If I was sitting down journaling, I'm looking at the affirmations, I'm totally in thought. What would I drink and what would I eat?
I recommend a beautiful cup of green mint tea.
That sounds good. And what would you eat with that?
And if you feel like green mint tea is not your choice of teas, then a good typical black pico tea. My personal favorite, however, is a tea we call basil. So it's an island bush tea, and it's essentially a beautiful white flowered plant, natural flavor, but it's very invigorating. And just sit down with a cup of joy, a book of poetry, or work on your journaling, put together your business plan while you're sipping some tea. And don't be afraid to get a second cup if you have to.
I love it. I love it. That sounds peaceful. It sounds like you're getting into a tranquil space and you have a clear palette to be able to just write and create. I love it. Well, I want to thank you for coming on today and telling us about all the things that you have to offer. I want to make sure that you are seen in the book club too. So don't forget, tell us what new books you got coming out. Anytime you have anything coming out, come back, enjoy, just spread the word.
Oh, definitely. Working on my book 7 right now. It's actually going to be a poetry introduction and writing workshop. It's about 150 pages right now, and we're looking at about maybe 30,000 words, and the version of yourself using poetry as mental writer that you are, and understanding the truths of the universe through your faith and through daily wellness practices.
I love it. As we come to the end of another insightful episode of the AGR Book Club podcast, I want to extend my heartfelt thank yous to each and every one of you for joining us today. Remember, your engagement fuels our passion for literature and community. So let's keep the dialogue alive. Share your thoughts, like our content, leave your comments, and subscribe to our channel for more enriching discussions. Until next time, let's keep the conversation alive and the pages turning. Share, like, comment, and subscribe. And let's make every moment count in our literary adventure together.